Hello, and welcome to this extremely high effort, low effort video where I talk about my plan for how I'm going to play the 3.25 Settlers of Necropolis reboot. I'm going to do it in SSF because I hate trade. And so let's start talking about my League Start build. So I want something. Let's talk about League starting. So in 3.25 Settlers, my League start was Blade of Contagion Trickster because I I started in Tota and I love, and so, like, by the time when I started playing, these spells were already really bad. But I just thought Essence Drain was so fun, just like everything popping. And we got Blight of Contagion, which is like Essence Drain but more damage. And like in theory, if you're an epic gamer, you can have a 21-20 Vol Blight of Contagion and it's epic. I the best I got in Settlers was a level 20 with Vol Blade of Contagion with 20 quality. And then I realized how much lab I would have to do and decided not to. Which is really unlucky because I did do like the Alva gem thing to double corrupt it, and I got 19 Vol. Like I said, Calcite spells are bad. Lastly, Catch and Lance made one just to like see, and yeah, it was bad. The damage is bad. Dia Lee did one this league in hardcore trade. She said it's bad, don't do it. If they doubled the damage on these spells, they'd probably be mediocre at best. Like, they wouldn't be OP. They wouldn't even be like the best spells. A lot of people would probably use them and then they'd get nerfed a little. But anyway, so what I want out of my League starter, I want to be able to get basic endgame progression on pretty low investment. So for me, that means getting all 4 Void Stones, getting all 6 map device slots, and something that can like comfortably kill all the pinnacle bosses. My League starter doesn't need to kill Ubers. Like, it's like people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to League start XYZ, and they're like, people are like, dude, you can't kill Ubers with that. It's like, are you killing Ubers with your League starter? I'm not. So the Great Build Wheel. These are the builds that I'm considering League starting, and basically, it's SRS Guardian, I think, for me. Um, I really like SRS Guardian. It's so comfy. You just like make all your little guys, and like I know that if you like watch Godzy's video where he does like a tier list of all the minion builds, he puts this one in like trash tier. But um I don't know, he's doing all this insane smart minion man stuff where he's just like, yeah, if you get like these 3 specters and then you staple duct tape, it's I don't understand what's going on in those builds. I don't know I know what a specter is. I don't know what a good specter is. Although I did look at like some corpse specters and like, yeah, that's good for this build. And I looked at other SRS Guardian other like Guardian builds, SRS builds, and be like, oh yeah, that would be good for what I want to do. I'm probably just going to do SRS Guardian, and it's a short league. I don't know if I'll have time for a second build. It's like maybe an armor cycle all-rounder juggernaut. If I happen to like find all of the cluster jewels for this very quickly when I'm like trying to farm cluster jewels for the Guardian, maybe I'll do this. I think a Toxic Rain Heister. If I drop an early Lightning Coil, I'm super down to do this. Toxic Rain, so comfy, and like you also just like map and kill bosses. I could probably scale that to like be able to kill Ubers if I wanted to. Flicker Stripe Mapper, probably like a Fizz Slayer variant. I don't see this happening, honestly. I'm not gonna like spec into Beast very much. So like I'd only like do this if I got like a Ferals or a replica Ferals, honestly. If I got a regular Ferals, it might even be like, yeah, if I got replica Ferals, it would definitely be Flicker Strike Slayer, and I'd do it in a heartbeat. Poison, Cold Snap of Power, Original Sin Assassin. I think this would be awesome. I think this would be so fun to play. And then we got some other builds that are super dependent on like something that's not going to happen. Some of the builds previously also were like that, but these are like even more impossible. Um, except for this. This is just I just wanted more bullet points here, I guess. So Fulcrum, I'll make an RF Chieftain, and it won't be like the DD Auto Bomber. I don't think that I can easily like throw that together in SSF, but just like a regular RF Chieftain, you self ignite, you run around. It's gonna be so comfy. Astramentus, I'll make the Tom shut up build, and I'll use it to kill Ubers. And then Tom would be like, "Oh, I forgot you were using the build. It's only a bosser," like he does every time I talk about how I'd do this build. And then Tom will shut up. That's a lie, actually. If I do this build and kill Ubers with it, Tom will probably talk about it more. If I get Profane Proxy and like a good curse ring somehow, I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to try to get a good curse ring. I'll try Hexboss Mines. I don't think it's actually going to happen at all, honestly. The Profane Proxy, I'll just use for like a second curse on SRS Guardian, most likely. I'll go for like Ellie Weakness and then probably Punishment. Maybe Enfeeble if I want to be tankier. We'll see. If I find a Poet's Pen and a Squire, I'm making a Fizz Spell Juggernaut. It's going to be so fucking cool. If I find this, it's going to be so fucking cool. A physical spell jug with Poet's Pen and Squire. Like, I think with Poet's Pen Squire, it's really hard to make like a totally dog shit build, like a build with no damage. And so I just like put it on a Juggernaut. I'll be able to make something tanky enough. And then Original Sin, I'll make that Cold Snap of Power Original Sin Assassin. Let's talk about my early Atlas plan. My map progressions kind of be like white maps, yellow maps, red maps, Blight, and then Abyss. And the reason for this progression, so white, yellow, red, obviously, we're going through the Atlas. Blight, I think an early Blight spec is nice. Like, you get your Blight maps, they're fun, they're comfy, you get your oils, you anoint up, and then you spec out a Blight. And like, you spend your fucking unmaking, spend your regrets, it's good. And then I'm going to do Abyss because Ghastly Jewels are good. Let's go pull up those Atlas trees and talk about it. Here we are. So this is my nice white maps Atlas. It's very standard, where it's just map sustain, basically. So first thing I'm going to do is grab this Jun chance. This will give me 40% Jun chance. Very nice early on. And then I'm going to go straight up the middle. I'm going to curve around here and take Commissioned Officer, followed immediately by Shaping the World. And then the Cure map, the Cure missions are just going to completely freely sustain all of my progression. It's going to be so good. And after that, I'm going to grab even more Kirak mission chance. Although probably on my way to Kirak mission chance, I'll grab Shaping the Mountains, Shaping the World, or Shaping the Skies, sorry. Up here's the world. Gonna get World, Mountain, Skies, get my maps to be upgraded. And then I might start blocking mechanics, we'll see. I'm probably gonna block Ultimatum early on, for sure, and also Expedition. Because I don't like those mechanics. I know Expedition in SSF is really good. I just hate it. And then up here in yellow maps, this is more points than I'm actually going to have, frankly. But I think it's fine. So the first thing I'm going to do in yellow maps, I'm going to get more Jun chance. And then I'm going to go over here, get all the Jun stuff. And after that, I'm speccing, I think, straight into Harvest. Like right here, getting this Harvest chance. And then I'm going to come up here, grab these Harvest nodes, probably. I might actually just go for this and then go into Harvey. Because Harvey, like the Harbinger orbs and stuff, that's stuff I'm going to want to like just really patch in holes in my Atlas later on. It's such a convenient way to just get the stuff you're missing. And the reason I'm going for Harvest is because sometimes we only get like one of a map and you alk it, and then it just gets like 2 really bad mods you can't do. It's like minus max res, no regen, bullshit like that. You're like, ugh, I can't do that on this build. And so I just throw it in the Harvest Crafter Hortibench and re-roll it with Harvest Juice, because I'm SSF. That's what that resource is for. So I'm going to use it for that. And then like these, pretty nice. So the reason I go up here for this node is because 200% increased experience from my harvest monsters is quite nice, especially as SRS Guardian. The level of my Summon and Sentinel of Radiance and my Summon Elemental Relics, like the power of my minions is going to increase with my level up to 85. And that's just so nice. So like by the time I'm like actually fighting for Void Stones, my first two, I'm like definitely at least that level. And then we're just grabbing like some basic stuff, pathing through the chance to contain Sacred Grove. I'll probably end up clicking these two nodes as well, because right now it looks like I'm only 80% chance to contain the Sacred Grove. And yeah, pretty like cute little yellow map setup. And then in red map, not a lot actually gets added between these two trees. I basically just let's check. Oh, okay, there's apparently something else. Anyway, so like I do this really weird looking pathing. Where I come up here. What else changes? What else do I add? Oh yeah, I go up here and I grab Blight map chant or Blight chance. And I spec a little bit into Blight. And the reason for that is quite very simple. Blight's fun. I love Blight. Also, you need your anoint, and if you're SSF, you got to get it yourself. And I like Blight. I also think Templar Ingenuity is probably going to be very fun to try and like get a lot of like extra currency out of those. We'll see what kind of loot it has for me. And then up next we have the Blight Atlas tree. So this one's actually basically the same. We just basically spec out of these nodes right here. And then I've clicked like I think it's Underground Kingdom for like Abyss, a little bit of Abyss chance, and also this. Which honestly I might not do. I might like instead like click Fungal Horizons, and then surely there's like enough points saved. Not really. Anyway, basically it's just like I'm taking out these Kirak nodes that I don't need anymore once I basically have a completed Atlas. And then I'm also taking out these Kirak nodes down here, and then I'm getting like some stuff. I might even like click Delhi, we'll see. I don't think Delhi goes on this Atlas though. I'm gonna have to make a new Atlas tree for a combination of mechanics that I forgot I needed to do. Right, then after I have all my anoints and stuff, I drop Blight. I completely get Blight out of my Atlas, and then I go very hard into Abyss. I'm also, at this point, I didn't do it yet here, but here I drop Harbinger completely out of the Atlas because at that point I no longer need it. And then my pathing, like, changes a little bit. It's a little funky. Like, I think it's technically better to path through these 3 breach nodes, and then I don't know. Yeah, and then at this point, I'm just like doing some destructive play stuff, and eventually, I will like just spec out of Maven here, and then go into some kind of altars. Although this like shit, effective leadership, that's the node that was missing from the previous atlases. Gotta have this to make the leader show up and get Katarinas. Anyway, all right, that's my early atlas progression. Let's head back to the PowerPoint. Because like later on, I'm going to have my Maven Heist Atlas tree. I'm going to have a Legion Ritual Atlas tree. Oh, I already made this. Awesome. And I think I'm going to have a Harby Alva Delhi Beyond, which is crazy. It's very hard to fit 4 mechanics in an Atlas tree. And like Harby is debatably droppable from this, and I probably should. And then Legion Ritual, I don't know why Delhi isn't in here. Legion Ritual Delhi is like so comfy, probably. Anyway, let's talk about like why I want to do these. So Ritual, I need perfect corpses for like some really good specters. Like there's the haste specter. There's a specter that gives nearby constructs 100% increased damage, and summon a raging spirit skulls are considered constructs, so that's a lot of damage that I get for free. There's also there's a specter that just gives them like extra fire damage and extra other, like, it's very good. There's like a lot of good specters in a Ritual for me. And then like there's also like Omen of Connections. Maybe I'll just like find a casual 6-link or shit. Legion goes really well. Legion and Deli monsters can be resummoned in Ritual, so you gotta love that. Harvey, Alva, Deli, Beyond. So, Alva and Deli work together really well because the delirium timer pauses while you're inside of the Alva incursions, but you kill all those monsters, the Alva incursion, including some delirious monsters. And you still get like credit and delirium rewards. So it just lets you squeeze a lot more out of the map. Beyond, I really like it with Alva and Harbinger. Because Harbinger is it spawns all the enemies in that tight little circle, and then with Alva, the enemies are already in that like tight little area. Because you're like spawning a bunch of Beyond demons and you're killing more monsters, you get a lot of Deli rewards. It feels so good to like do this Atlas. And even though I don't think I need like that much from Alva at all as SRS Guardian, I don't think I'm going to be double corrupting anything, but it's fine. I'll put those temples in like a stash tab and then use them in standard SSF in like 2 years. I'll be like, oh, I'm so glad I have this. Then Einhar Essence Torment, very silly one that I probably won't do. I don't really need beast crafting that much. Black Morgan is kind of nice for 6 linking in SSF, but I feel like in the time it takes you to farm a Black Morgan, you're going to get a 6 link some other way. So let's take a look at these. Our Maven Heist Tree. It's very classic. We have Shrine. So no slow mechanics. None of the mechanics in this are going to slow us down. So we're going to kill the monsters in the map. We're going to reach the map boss. We're going to kill the map boss. And then Maven's going to be like, hooray! Time to kill again, I guess. And scouting reports for Atlas completion are just kind of like tucked away in there. I don't know how I want that. And I'm going for level 3 jobs with Deception, Agility, Engineering for a very specific reason. So let's copy this. And then we're going to go paste it in here. Alright, so Shrine. We have every single shrine node except for Covetous Shrines, which fucking suck and we don't want them. For Heist, we are clicking... So level 3 jobs. The reason we want lower level jobs is because it takes less time for the people to open the doors. And that's the biggest time bottleneck in Heist. Period. And then this is just like a normal destructive play Atlas, where you have destructive play, all of these. So then you have like a lot of chances to just drop some kind of fragment, like a map that drops a fragment. Or in the case of these, they're not like fragment maps, but they're still like a good Maven invite that drops a lot of Crescent Splinters. And that's great for us. And then we have these two. These just give us a lot of blueprints. You need blueprints if you want to do heist stuff. And I like heist. I'm going to do heist, even if the character doesn't need it. Because in SSF, there is a lot of good stuff in heist. Like, hold on. So here on the wiki, we're going to look at heist. So over here, anyway, let's look at this specifically. Agility, deception, or engineering. So the reason deception is so fucking good, Gianna right here is our deception person. The higher her deception, up to like 40% at level 7, she will reveal blueprints with a huge like discount. It is amazing. You save so many rogue markers. So every time you do a deception contract, or I guess a counter thaumaturgy or perception with Gianna, she'll give you a blueprint reveal, and then they're going to be so heavily discounted. It's amazing. It's so fucking good. Gianna's the best. We love her. And deception. All right, let's go down here. So one thing we're going to be running out of is scarabs. For example, Harbinger scarabs. I loved throwing a ton of these in the map device and just kicking a ton of ass. Putting all the Harbies. And the thing is, like in a lot of our real Atlas trees, we're going to be clicking remarkable relics, and we're just not going to be getting the low-level scarabs that we need. So we get tons of like these bronze Harbinger scarabs. And then for essences as well, you're going to get essence scarabs. And that's from engineering and agility. And this is from deception and agility. And if you look at this node that we're clicking right here, deception, agility, engineering. So boom, we're getting it all. Although, honorable mention, huge honorable mention goes to demolition contracts. The demolition contracts, they give us catalysts and ultimatum scarabs. So the catalysts from these contracts mean we never have to do ultimatum ever, which is great because I think ultimatum's not that fun. It's like very annoying. It might actually be better for me now that if I'm playing SRS Guardian because I like little skulls will seek out all the enemies. Because my least favorite part of like ultimatum and ritual is like the monsters keep spawning and you have to like keep finding the monsters. And like I know that sounds weird, but it's very different. Like fighting monsters in an ultimatum or a ritual, compared to like just walking up to a map, killing the pack, and then grabbing the loot. You have to like do this whole dance in there. It's very annoying. You also get like cluster jewels and deli orbs from demolition, which is kind of nice. And then the other thing is blight from demolition. So you can get blight maps. And if you don't want to do blight in your Atlas maps, because you're not a weirdo like me who loves blight, guess what? You just like do a couple demolition contracts with like Huck, and he'll give you a ton of XP, and then hooray, blight. And then, so in this Maven Atlas, we'll note we're not taking Secret Stash or Dutiful Soldier. We're not getting all that chance. I'm just going to craft Heist on the map device, because that's the only way to guarantee it. And it looks like I've got some blocks for just stuff I don't want. So Blight Scarabs, I don't want these. I'm not going to, realistically, later on be doing Blight in my maps, unfortunately. So anyway, back to the PowerPoint. What do we have? Harvey, Alva, Deli Beyond. This right here is a complete fucking banger. So let's talk about why. Why do I love this Atlas? I think I like Beyond looks really good with Alva Harvey, because Alva, the monsters are so tight together in those little corridors and rooms that you just get all those portals and they merge and you fight a bunch of demons. It's great. And with Harbinger, the enemies also like spawn in the same area over and over, so you get a lot of portals. And then Deli worked with Alva because it pauses the timer when you're in Alva. Very good. Also, dropping Tainted Currency with double corrupts is very nice. And then, as you can see, there are no altars on this Atlas tree. So, unfortunately, like, it's 124 points, then you click like this or something. If you're going X-Arch, then you actually, yeah, you could, like, do this, but that's more points. Then you click X-Arch, and then you're like, fuck, 134 points. What do I drop? And it's like, I don't know. You'll figure something out when you do this. Yeah, here's the Atlas tree. So for Alva, like, basically everything is good for Alva. Very important, you need resource reallocation, because then your rooms will level up faster. This means that, like, 40% of the time, when you upgrade a Locus of Corruption or a Duriani's Institute type room to level 2, it just goes max all the way. It's so good. And for this one is really important because, like, let's say you find, like, you just, like, upgrade a random shitty room to tier 2. And then suddenly they're contested by a Doriani's or a Locus. And you kill the guy who's already there, and the room's level 2, and then it goes up to level 3. This really lets you create high-level rooms that you actually want. And honestly, if you want, you can just drop Harvey. I won't judge you for it. I know that, like, this mechanic can get annoying, where you wait for the guys to spawn if you're killing them too fast. For Deli, what's interesting? Wait, what? That's missing? Alright, I don't know. This Atlas tree might suck ass. But I've definitely, like, I have a good version of this that I've played in the game, where I have all these mechanics, and it's just very fun to play with these together. Then up next, we have Legion Ritual. So Ritual, it will respawn the Legion monsters. Also, I don't like deferring and re-rolling in Ritual. It's not that fun. So I just chose a very weird Ritual setup, where I took Immutable Dogma, and then I just get more favors. And then over here, I'm expect a little bit into the Blood-Filled Vessel stuff, so that I get more of those. And unfortunately, these mechanics are kind of far from each other. And then, yeah, that's pretty freaking sad. And I've also spec'd a little bit into Delhi here. Like, honestly, the way to go here is probably just, like, do delirious maps or a Delhi scarab, and then you, like, you click like that or something. Because the Delhi monsters also get respawned in the rituals, and it's just so comfy and nice and fun. Gosh, I love these mechanics. I'm saying that I've like never done a ritual atlas strategy, but I think this is like probably the way. And, like timeless jewels and shit, those are pretty good. I just clicked Vol because um actually what does SRS Guardian want? It probably wants a I don't think any of the I don't think I want a Vol jewel for this build. It might be Templar or something. I think it's probably like Militant Faith or Brutal Restraint is what I want. I'm not I don't know a lot about timeless jewels. I've never like used one in a build, I don't think. They're weird. I'm a noob. But anyway, what else? What are my other slides? Einhar Essence Torment. This one sucks. Don't use this one. It's not that fun. But like uh so Essence and beasts, and we're basically just creating as many like rare monsters in the map, and then hopefully like using torment scarabs and shit to add tormented spirits. And the goal is you get a bunch of spirits onto like some giant rare monster with a ton of modifiers, and then you just get a giant loot bomb of like fractured items. And then the game's like, oh, here you go, here's a fuckload of fractured items. And you're like, yeah. And hopefully you get a good fractured item, or like maybe it's a scarab loot bomb or something, because the more modifiers a rare monster has, like the more likely it is to have a reward modifier from like old arch nemesis. I clicked red altars here. I don't know why. I think it's because it was just right there, and I'm like blocking everything for some reason. Some of these atlas trees, I don't know what I was thinking when I made them. Like, and this is like a very like I'm an SSF player, so sometimes I'll be using scarabs, sometimes I'll be Alkin going because like you don't have scarabs sometimes in SSF because you use them all. They don't drop that fast. So like take these with a grain of salt if you're playing trade. If you're SSF, also take them with a grain of salt because you have to know what you like and then play that way. Um, all right, what else do I have? Oh, thanks for watching. I might stream it on twitch.tv/layflower. You can go follow me there. And like, I don't know, maybe I'll stream. Currently, I stream a lot of XCOM too because I think that game is fun. I might edit diary style progression videos. So subscribe. I don't think I will. I don't really know how to do video editing. Um, I probably should learn. Like, if I learned how to do video editing, I would become so powerful. I have like probably 100 or so hours of old school MapleStory footage that I could edit into a video that then would get like copyright struck because it's on a private server. Okay. Um, that's all. Bye.